Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakaha, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The 144,000 and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen, that look like those heathen, and to the few akwaf that are listening and learning. To you I say shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone, coming at you another lesson, a correction to we Woke TV. Often have to correct them. They give you portions of the truth, but not the whole truth. They don't acknowledge the Northern Kingdom, and they're definitely low-key black-only Israelite channel, and that's not the case. The Israelites got scattered to the four corners of the earth among all people, and they're all not going to appear to be so-called black. That will be the parable of the wheat and the tares. But I was trying to find a video that someone sent where a white guy was doing a commentary and showing you all the military campaigns of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, as they were reading, the enemy shall come in like a flood, and by the sword they shall live, and how, and he was pointing out the fact that the white race, so-called, which they self-proclaim themselves that they are the Edomites, from Alexander up until now, they never really built anything. They just attacked, pillaged, raped, robbed, and murdered, and forced other people to build things basically at the edge of a sword. And I would say that's the majority of how they got what they have today, how they got rulership over the earth. It was prophesied, and that's how they did it. By the sword they shall live, which means you're going to take other people's shit. And that's exactly what they did. The Lord gave them the mastery of weaponry. It wasn't that they were these great warriors. They just had better weaponry than almost everyone that they went up against. And once again, it was prophecy for them to be raised up just so that they can be brought down, the same way as Pharaoh was in Egypt. So, and another way and this is the new Egypt spiritually, new Rome, new Babylon, all the above. And it's being brought down again by the mouth of the prophets. The Lord is exposing Esau, Edom. As a matter of fact, let's get that in 2 Thessalonians, and I'm going to play these two videos. I couldn't find, I was hunting for that video. I thought I saved it. I don't know, what channel I was watching where I just couldn't find it. But the Spirit do what the Spirit do. Maybe it wasn't meant for it to come out at this time. It'll come out another lesson or in the future. But this is 2 Thessalonians 2:8, and it reads, "And then the wicked shall be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming." All right. And the spirit of the Lord's mouth is the prophets that are here on earth today. Primarily the men of the Great Millstone and the affiliate camps that teach the likewise doctrine. So we're going to play a few minutes of this video of Kim Iverson, and they used. I've been using Kim Iverson. I believe I was probably the first one to start using her among my brethren. I was using her videos going back like 5-6 years ago when she first appeared, when she first came out. I don't recall seeing anyone else using her videos until I did. But, that's neither here nor there. But, for these guys, these bootleg camps to start using the stuff that the men of the Great Millstone use, just found it, rather interesting that they now, I guess what's the word that I'm looking for? That what's that phrase that imitation is the best flattery, or something to that effect. All right, and that's what that we as the prophets of the Great Millstone do. I imitate, my apostles, my elders, the elder bishops. They taught me how to research, and gave me understanding, and taught me how to research, and then the Lord, the Spirit of the Lord took over, and we run with it. That's what we're supposed to do. All right, you're supposed to teach You're supposed to learn so that you can teach and become a teacher yourself. All right. So without any further ado, let's play some of this video with Kim Iverson. Let me turn the sound down a little bit. And here we go.
Russia and Ukraine predominantly is where the Khazar Empire was. And Herzl and many of the early Zionists came from that region. They're Austrian, Russian, coming from that region, where we know that there was later on, many years after any of these biblical stories, there was a lot of conversion to Judaism. There was a lot of conversion to Judaism. There was a lot of
conversion to Judaism. So we're going to touch on that. Just trying to let all that go by because
Jewish people.
Okay, so let's stop right there. All right. And Kim definitely, her face got a little full. She was a lot thinner. I know she, after she had her children, and, her face got a little fuller over the years. Because Kim's mother is a Moabite and her father's an Edomite. All right. And she admitted that she cheated on her college exams like most Moabites did. But that's another lesson. But here in the book of Who is Esau, Edom, on page 7, it talks about the Nabateans now occupied Mount Seir, and the Edomites were driven into the old territory of Judah. The Maccabean family, a remnant of the true Judites, all right, so you notice it set a difference between the Jewish converts, all right, the true Judites, the true Israelites, because Esau likes to throw out that term Jew and talk about the Jewish, that the Israelites were Jewish, and all that sort of matter. The only people that you can be referred to as Jews is actually the one tribe of Judah. You cannot refer to the other 11 tribes as Jewish. Isaac was not Jewish. Jacob was not Jewish. Abraham was not Jewish. Abraham was a Hebrew. All right. So when she said there was a lot of conversion, that's where your Jewish people come into play. All right. And it reads, the Edomites were driven into the old territory of Judah. The Maccabean family, a remnant of the true Judites, had ruled Judea from 166 to 37 BC under Judas Maccabees, first Maccabees, proving that the Maccabees is a part of the Bible, always have been, recaptured the city of Hebron from the Edomites in 164 BC. During the time John Hyrcanus, 135 to 105 BC, the nephew of Judas, the Judites were again faced with the hostility of the Idumeans, which is the Greek way of saying Edomites. Hyrcanus confronted the Edomites, causing a decisive change in the relations between the two factions. John Hyrcanus conquered the whole of Edom. No, he didn't. He conquered that portion of Edom that was there, because the rest of the Edomites were the Romans. They were all Edomites, and the people who were now calling themselves Greek, and the people who were referring to themselves as Romans were also Edomites. So he didn't conquer the whole of Edom. That's a fallacy. That's not true in this book. But it says John Hyrcanus conquered a whole, we're going to say a portion of Edom, and undertook the forced conversion of his inhabitants to Judaism. Thenceforth, the Edomites became a section of the Jewish. They literally became the Jewish people. That the Jewish people are the descendants of the converts and or Edomites that are following the ways of those converts, because Jewish people do not follow the Bible. They do not follow the scriptures. They follow the Talmud, which is Babylonian, which is wicked. All right. They have another book, all right, that they follow. So now that we've read that or talked about that, let me go to 1 Maccabee 15 and 33 real quick. Grab a scripture. And it reads, Then answered Simon and said unto him, We have neither taken other men's land, nor holden that which aparteth to others, but the inheritance of our fathers, which our enemies had wrongfully in their possession a certain time. All right. And there you go. And this also would link up with Ezekiel 36 and 5, when the Edomites, got dominion over the land of Israel in the latter days, which is now. All right. When in Ezekiel 35, the 36, Salakia, 36 and 5, in the 36th chapter, it says, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours. All right. And then through the Balfour Declaration, this new sect of Jewish people now claim to be the Israelites when they're actually Idumeans, just as the scripture says. They are the descendants of Alexander the Great, all right, of Alexander of Macedon. And Alexander of Macedon, who came from Kittim, can be traced back to Esau, Edom. As a matter of fact, he is a son of Amalek. So the Amalekites are once again in the land of Israel, referring to themselves as Jewish.
First entered the land of Israel 3,300 years.
What?
Okay, so they came from somewhere else, right? So he's going to tell us this is why the Jewish people belong here. This is why these other people don't belong here. And he's saying, first of all, the people were here. They came to the land 3,300 years ago. And if you don't...
Now, once again, Jewish people didn't come to the land 3,300 years ago. Israelites came to the land these 3,600 years ago. 3,300 years ago. Israelites did. All right. Later on, Edomites were forcibly converted to follow the ways. And that's when Jewish people got into the land. Hence the line of Herodians, which proves that Christians don't know what they're talking about when people like Vocab Malone teach that the Israelites were done away with. The whole Herodian line and all the Jewish people that were there. These Jewish people even fought alongside the real Israelites at the fall of Jerusalem. They fought against their own people, the Romans.
Believe the Bible, then you can believe archaeology. They came to the land 3,000 years ago. So there were people already there. This wasn't, in the Bible, it even says this wasn't like desolate, just empty land. There were people that were there, the Canaanites, and that Abraham showed up with his family. So where does scholars say Abraham came from? Well, scholars say that...
and so this is where you get the confusion and the fraudulent teaching of Christianity. Because if you notice, Christianity, when you go in, like I'm holding the Young's Dictionary Bible in my hand, all right? And what you notice is that Christianity ignores what the scholars teach, and they teach a very racist, whitewashed version of Christianity. This is what they do. A very watered down and whitewashed version of Christianity. Here I'm holding some receipts from the beloved brother Shatia. I actually wanted to play some of his video that he went to. He was just in Italy. But let me just pull up the info. So I didn't set that video. I meant to set that video up prior. But I'm going to just show you the receipts. This is these images that I'm going to show you. The first one is in Palermo. Is the first one is a Palermo Cathedral in Palermo, Sicily, and the second is the Tindari Sanctuary Monastery in Tindari, Sicily. So we're in two parts of Sicily. All right. So now that you know that, let's bring up the receipts. All right. This first one is in Palermo. Okay. And I'm going to show you an up close. I want to make sure it focuses. All right. So let's, and then you look at the bottom of it. You got the whitewash versions, but when you look at the old one that goes back prior to the Renaissance, well, we're going to do close-ups of the same picture, Salakia. So here we go. God damn it. Yeah, this is the outside of the church. As you can see, it survived the iconoclasm. Remember, iconoclasm was the deliberate destruction of the icons, during the Renaissance. So all that whitewashed Renaissance history, people making the jokes about, when they show you medieval times and all of a sudden they showing you. So here's that image up close from that first one. Okay. Now I take that back. This is the one in Tindari, Sicily. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Here's the one from the Palomero up close. All right. So, so there's no getting around this. All right. There's as much as they'll get mad and, and say they're very childish sayings of some of the scoffers on the video. But the fact of the matter is that Esau, Edom is a so-called liar. So we here at the Men of the Great Millstone, we've been telling you that there were artifacts that were older than the ones that that Putin showed you. So it's just too much evidence to prove that what we're saying is right and that Judaism is a lie. It's a fabrication. The people who follow Judaism are following the false ways of the Jewish converts the Edomites that converted back during the time of John Hyrcanus. All right, and then they try to mix that history and say that that was them. Once again, Abraham was not Jewish. All right, Isaac was not Jewish. Jacob was not Jewish. The 12 tribes were not Jewish. All right, that's something the people who converted were Jewish. They became like the tribe of Judah, but not Judah at all. Right? We just showed you images of the likeness of the Judeans as they're written in the scriptures. So let's go to the next video. Also, we woke now. All right. Oh, she mentioned the Canaanites. So before we go further, let's go back. Before we go further, this is the Young's Dictionary, and the Canaanites were what you refer to as Africans today. All right. Like who was the guy that Goliath, the one that our beloved king, who's the king forever over Israel, King David, our forefather and king, slayed Goliath, who was a Philistine. Philistine is where goes back to Philistia, is where you get the word Palestine or Palestinian. The people in Palestine today, well, among them are some actual Israelites mixed among them, but the majority of the people in the land of Palestine are the sons of Ishmael. All right, they came in there after during the time of the Holy Wars, during the time of Muhammad. The Holy Wars actually came after that, but the armies of Muhammad settled into that land, and well, there you are, and they've been there ever since. Okay, that's not their land either. It was Hamites and the actual Canaanites and the Hamites that lived all in Western Asia. Iraq, Iran, that whole area. The scholars are going to tell you that the Canaanites were occupying that land all the way north of Africa, all the way up into what they fraudulently and falsely call the Middle East. So here's the definition of Ham in the Zondervan's on page 255. If anyone wants to go and look it up. It says, a son of Noah, father of Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. See further on each of these four. While they all may have been dark-skinned, they were not. Let's turn the page. The forefathers, damn it, closed up on me, Salakia. This book's falling apart because it's old and had it a long time. They were not the forefathers of the Negroid races, but rather the peoples associated with Egypt and the north of the continent of Africa. So what was north of Africa? Asia. All right. What's north of Africa? Asia, Western Asia, what they fraudulently call the Middle East. All right. This is a map of Asia. All right. So all that land you see north of Africa, Israel, Iran, that whole Iraq, they were all in there. The Canaanites, they were in that area. Okay? So it says, but rather the peoples associated with Egypt in the north of the continent of Africa, the Egyptians thought of Canaan as one of their provinces even until the latter times. All right? And so he just told you the fathers, the Hamites, the sons of Ham, were Egypt. The Egyptians were sons of Ham, Hamite Africans. Those are your where Libya is, all right? North parts of North Africa, sons of Ham, Africans, and then Canaan, all right? Also, we've left out Cush, father of Cush. The Cushites, those are like your Somalis and that's what's that other people that's leaving my thought that's on the northeast Africa. The Somalis, and then there's another people that I'm forgetting. But these and the Canaanites, these are sons of Ham. All right, and Ham is the forefather of the Africans, the booty scratchers, or the ones who stick their heads up and get peed on by cows and all that stuff to do weird things to their hair and whatever. The Hamites, a lot of Hamites got invented strange customs, Babylonian customs that are still followed to this day. And Hamites are a different set of dark people. So let's play a little bit of the other video.
It says the Bible states that Abraham was raised in Ur of the Chaldeans.
So why do you think that is? Why is Israel so aligned with Israel? I'm sorry, why is U.S. so aligned with Israel over Gaza?
I don't know. I mean, there's like a million.
Ask yourself.
There's a million. Why? So why?
I want to know.
Tell me. Because they're white like them? Because they're white like them? Because they're white like them?
So why do you think that is? Why is Israel so aligned with Israel? I'm sorry, why is U.S. so aligned with Israel over Gaza?
I don't know. I mean, there's like a million.
Ask yourself.
There's a million. Why? So why?
I want to know.
Tell me. Because they're white like them? Are they allowed to put people?
Who's white?
Well, I mean, a lot of Americans consider Israel is the white.
But you know for a fact.
I know.
Most Israelis are Sephardic and they're brown.
Well, joining us for our weekly segment, Bottom Line, is Algemeiner's CEO, David Efunis. So, David, let's jump right in. Genetically speaking, are Jews white?
Well, Natasha, it's important to understand, firstly, the intense sensitivity that this question has.
The intense sensitivity because it's true, right? And the intense sensitivity is because they perpetrated the fraud that they are Israelites. They are indeed Hebrew, but they're Hebrew Edomites, and they don't want that truth to come out. Okay, it was a simple yes or no answer
for the Jewish community, and actually, it's coming up at a personally very relevant time for me. Today is the anniversary of the passing of my great-grandfather, David Weinstock.
And this is what they do. They love to bring up, the H thing, They love to bring that up, and it has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. Absolutely nothing.
Arrested by the Nazis in Vienna in September 19...
That was just, look, what the Nazis did to these people was simply Edomite on Edomite crime. That's all it was. All right?
39, and he was taken to the anthropological department at the Vienna Museum of Natural History, and he was subjected to, together with 440 other Jews, to degrading tests and measurements.
Jews white.
I want to
lumped into the white category.
Genetically speaking, are Jews white?
I want to get Dr. Meyer's opinion on this. Classifying it as white Jew, because we know there's black Jews, How does that make you feel? How does that initially hit you when I say, if I said black and white Jewish relations?
I guess that's mostly what I deal with is in my courses is those interactions. I think again in America most Jews are Ashkenazic Jews who are white. I think
there it is. 1 Timothy 6:20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called. So they've falsified DNA And now they've been caught with that DNA, which is the reason why they tell you later on in this video that it's illegal to do DNA tests in the land of Israel, because they said something about how they took another group of people and then crossed their DNA. And if you start doing that DNA, you find out that their DNA actually matches to that of other Edomites, other Caucasians, whether they be Australian, American, Canadian, whatever. All right. And as the scripture says, thy enemy shall be found to be liars. All right. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kwadash, Kwam Yasharala Shalom, Abba Babal.